Hi, and welcome to today's webinar. Today's webinar focus is the Neptune DXP22 LTS version, and we're going to be looking into what can we do with this version in terms of business added value. First of all, this release was designed with beauty and functionality in mind, and we're going to cover the key aspects and takeaways from it. Let's start by reusability. How can you add more reusability in terms of UI and business logic? How can you interact hands-off between systems? And how can you buy and build solutions based on the Neptune DXP, meaning the marketplace? And also, how does the Neptune DXP22 delivers top quality UI and increases end user productivity? All of which we're going into detail into every single aspect of these points. Let's start with more reusability. Reusability is something that every enterprise looks for, and the fact that you can detach development teams and development effort from the business outcomes and making them more scalable and more easy to fix, to enhance, and to expand makes it reusability a key aspect of this release of the platform. We are delivering the platform with a new functionality which we call custom components. Custom components can be a combination of different UI components as well as business logic and connectivity in one place. I'll give you one very simple example. If you think of your typical application, it will have a header and a footer. And then depending on what you want to put in the body of the application, you're going to probably have want to replicate this across multiple applications. As an example, you might want to have the same header or the same footer, for example, in two different apps, app number A and B. App A has a different content of app B. However, they should share the same header. Typically, we would have to replicate this through an application building block on two different applications. So now we give you the possibility of you having just one single header or one single footer. And this applies to entire application screens and small functionalities as well as big functionalities, where you can have the ability to centralize development for this component. And let's continue on the example of the header and the footer, where you have the same header being utilized everywhere, but once you change something on the header and you extend the functionality of the header components, that's automatically inherited by all of the applications that might be using it. The same thing applied for a connectivity to a certain system, a business logic, verification of screen logic, whatever you want to make it into one component that can be reused, you now can do it. Also, this makes possible for multiple developers to be at the same time on the same application, cooperating and developing different fragments of the application that combined can make the end product that you're looking for, but at the same time gives you the scalability of having different personas focusing on different parts of it, also bigger teams of development, but also the reusability that if you want to use again some of these parts, you can, but once you change the life cycle of that component is not of the entire application, but of a part of the application or part of multiple applications. So this extended capabilities of the application building blocks compared to the DXP21 gives you more reusability, scalability, and the ability to inherit properties and functionalities in a fully automatic way, providing the application building blocks a whole new context into bigger application development or usability of existing development. And you can still do this with existing applications. Your existing applications from the DXP21, they can be broken down into multiple custom components so that you can then reuse them as you need and to be able to then have his own separate life cycle. This takes us to hands-off interactions and what's so-called event-driven architecture, and what does it mean in terms of business value. Everyone potentially has interacted with Word or PowerPoint or Excel, where there's more than one person changing the data, changing the Excel or changing the PowerPoint and changing the Word at the same time. That kind of behavior where you see things happening live is what we are kind of delivering now for the end users of the applications. The ability for them to, without having to click on a button to sync, without them having to be active on the application, that the application automatically can interact between different systems, listen to what happens in one system, replicate it to a different one, notifying the front end of the end user, an action of the end user, triggering something that happens to the back end, but without using APIs, just with events. This event-driven architecture or hands-off interactions is powered by the Neptune DXP22 through the Open Edition, where you can have, for example, system A, B, and C listening to something that happens of an action by the end user on an application on the Open Edition. This can be system A triggers an event, Neptune listens to that event, triggers a workflow, triggers a server-side script, or triggers an action to the front end for the end user that in fact can then trigger also something on system B and C, for example. This in a fully synchronous way, and the key word here is synchronous, so that you don't necessarily need to have an end user action to be notified, to be refreshed. And we try to find here an example that is a real world example that can give you that kind of understanding of what these business capabilities do deliver. So we found here a very simple example that I'll show you now, restaurant queue management. So you get to a restaurant, you have application as a customer of the restaurant where you can say, I'm here at the restaurant, I want food, I want to go to the bar, or I want to go to the restaurant. So you register yourself, automatically the manager of the restaurant gets an update saying that there is someone waiting for a table, see your credentials, see your requirements. And when you have been allocated a table, the manager of the restaurant simply drags something into a different queue saying in process, and automatically you as an end customer can see not only who else is on the list, how many other people are on the list, but what's your space in the queue, and did I get already a table now? Let me show you that. On the left hand side you have the queue. Me as a customer of the restaurant get in, put on my name saying that I'm on the queue, having some comments if I want to, my details, and this is just an example. So as I click on start, automatically on the right hand side you can see the queue from the actual manager of the restaurant. So the restaurant can immediately see, the restaurant manager can see that there is a person waiting. As he moves the customers to a in-processing queue, automatically the customers, as you can see on the left hand side, are automatically updated. You can see how long was that, and as you move the customers from in-processing to completed their meal, the customer that has put on the request gets a request for the order has been completed, can give feedback, and automatically that updates there on the right hand side. So how does this work? Is that you're going to have a mix between two different applications, two different personas, two different devices, where the customer performs an action, there is an immediate reaction on the other side, and this can be connected to a workflow, can be connected to a different backend system, but in the front end becomes everything very immediate and synchronized, without the need for having a sync button, without the need of proactively the end user having to click something to be updated, to be refreshed, to be notified. So that's simply hands-off interactions in a very simple real-world example. Let's see how you can now better buy and build applications and solutions with Neptune. First of all, we used to have a store component embedded into our runtimes. Now we have a marketplace. What does the marketplace has as different is that the marketplace is now open and it's available for the on the ACP edition, on the Open edition, and also through the DXP portal. So the marketplace has two different sides to it, the public side and the private side. The public side allows you to see what Neptune is publishing as building blocks, as solutions, as templates, as micro solutions directly on the marketplace, where you can just click on a button and install, regardless of you being on the ACP edition or the open edition. And therefore adding more value to your solution straight from there. But on the private side, allows different business units within a company to use the marketplace as a centralized repository for what they are building. I'll give you an example. You have your IT segregated for your business units that are spread across multiple locations, different countries. It doesn't necessarily matter. So your IT develops an application that allows you to do time management. So as a business unit, you can see, go to your ACP edition or to your open edition, see what your own IT makes available to your business unit, and just click install. Automatically, you'll be added to your runtime the solution where you can then extend it, change it, give it feedback on, etc. But this is within the realms of your company. That's your private side. Makes it much easier for IT to deploy solutions to the overall different business units, so that you can have solutions, ACP templates, code snippets, application building blocks, and also app builder applications. So what does the app builder applications also is that allows the business units themselves to go into the DXP portal, create their own mock-ups of the solutions that they need, and then publish to their own marketplace, private marketplace, so that IT can grab them and connect them to the managed data sets, and then make them available back to the business units as ready-made final applications that are ready for productive use. And this makes it the collaboration mode between business units, IT, and back to the business units in a very easy and straightforward way within the governance of your own company. And this is independent of the business unit being running in the end ACP edition or being running open edition. So the app builder is a no-code solution that is purely agnostic. Neptune DXP Marketplace is available on the DXP portal. Here you can find it by clicking on this tile, and you'll be able to see immediately the content. You have feature content on the very top, where we feature applications, solutions, and also customers and partners solutions. You can filter by seeing what's your account has populated. For example, this will be your private repository, as well as you can explore by opening solutions from partners of Neptune, where you can know more about each solution. You can go to ACP templates, and you can go to code snippets, as well as application building blocks directly into the marketplace. So this is embedded onto the DXP portal, but also how does this look embedded into your ACP edition? So opening on the ACP edition, you're going to see the relevant items that are available for the ACP edition or the open edition in this case, where you can see them, the solutions, you can see the code snippets, you can see the app builder applications and in there, where you can actually access them and experience them. You can install them directly from there, and the marketplace will only let you install something that will be able to run directly on your marketplace, on your runtime. Also on the ACP edition, you're able to see they have exactly the same experience. So you can go to the application building blocks and you can click on them and install them if they are able to be installed on this runtime. And therefore it's filtering the content depending on which runtime you are in. So making it very simple for you to bring content into your own business units, to spread that content through all private, non-publicly accessible, as well as you have the ability to experience the public content that is on the marketplace as well. The app builder also is part of the top quality UI delivery of the Neptune DXP LTS 22 LTS. So The app builder gives you top quality UI from the get-go, provides you over 290 different building blocks, gives you 7 solution templates that are ready to be used, and that you can then extend and make it your own. You can brand, you can announce. We're delivering with DXP22 24 new tools inside this app builder, and this should reduce your time to value by interacting directly with your key users on your business and directly with the IT within the governance, and making this a very seamless experience from creating something that is ready to be the front end of your productive application, that is then connected to your backend data sets, and then it's then reused directly into a productive environment. Also, we are packaging that DXP22 with the latest version of UI5 with 1.108 LTS version that will be valid for the upcoming years, and also light and dark themes with a huge increase in consumable grade UI. So this is groundbreaking in terms of the what capabilities of UI5 can do. And by installing the Neptune DXP22 LTS, you are able to convert your existing applications into this look and feel in a very easy, straightforward way without having to redevelop anything on your applications. You can have something that looks immediately a lot better, and you can apply then new branded themes and interact with your end users in a much more upgraded way. Also, this version is available not only for the end users as what you consume on the Launchpad and mobile clients, but also for the developers alike. So new refresh development tools that are a lot updated and that are a lot streamlined, not just in terms of the way it looks, but also what capabilities it provides. And for you that are on the public sector, for example, we on this release comes with WCAG compliance 2.1A and AA, which should guarantee you the accessibility features that are required going from 2023. But in the end, how do you increase end user productivity? End user productivity is increased by new functionalities on the mobile client, on the Launchpad, that ease the onboarding effort of the end users into the platform, that make it easy for them to personalize their experience. They can move cards, they can resize cards, create new screens, they can change screens, they can readjust everything on the Launchpad, on the super app, and they can even bring their own apps, meaning that they can centralize under single sign-on on the Launchpad, on the mobile client, their rogue Excels if they want to, or whatever other, even bring your own app through a link. So any applications that is a web app can then be embedded onto that Launchpad, and that is your end user experience, making it very easy for them to prioritize what they actually need on their day-to-day lives without discarding the governance and the role-based access that IT has mandated. For example, if an end user has removed an application or changed application from place, if you change the roles of the user, it will automatically can bring back that application or hide that application from the end user, even if they have moved it or reshaped it and anything. So gives you the best of two worlds, all the personalization that the end users need with the entire IT governance that the company needs. So let me show you some example here on the Launchpad. Let's make some rearrangements here, and I'll get back to you after that. So let's look at it. So in order to increase your end user productivity, you need to give them an ability for them to configure their own experience. So let's look at here the experience of this Launchpad. So I can right click on the tiles anywhere and say edit screen. I can move around what I want. I can add directly from the application catalog that my roles give me access all the applications I want. So I can customize both my standard screens as well as a fully custom screen as well. Also, you have the ability to now open the applications, and by using the applications, it should give you immediately an ability for you to be able to see what were your last actions. In this example, work orders, as you open a work order, shows you a list of what is the work orders that you've been working on, but also gives you another possibility, an ability for you to create application variants. This application variants, you can have a button that does this functionality. It will add this work item, in this case this work order, directly as a tile on your front end. And this can be a financial document, this can be a HR persona, this can be anything. So I've added now here 3 of them into my list, and I can also create my complete new experience, new screen. So let me add here my work order so I can see what is for my day, and I can have my new screen, and screens is what you access from the very top of the launchpad. Here I can then move applications from one screen to the other screen. So I'm going to add these 3 applications now from one place to the other one. Very simple. And also allows me to then be able to not only move between screens, I can create new screens, I can customize, I can resort them as well. Here I have, for example, this graphic that I want to move there because this graphic for me represents something that I need. So by moving this, automatically I'll have the graphic as part of my own private screen as it's there. Now let's expand it, let's resize it to what we need, and I want this to be really emphasized, so I want full width. So I have my 3 work orders of the day with my graphic in there, and I can also change the priority of it. So very easy, I can just go and add a custom thing here. This can be an app builder application, this can be, for example, a PowerPoint that I have somewhere that I want to utilize it. So I can just add directly by creating it into my application by right-clicking into the application, and you edit screen. You can click on the plus button. At the very bottom, you're going to have a create app variant, and you can select a link that you have. You can add its own title, and when you click save to screen, it will add the PowerPoint or the Excel or the application, the web app that you want directly to your screen so that you can then visualize it. Extremely easy, extremely simple. Within governance, the end users can customize the way they work, making them more productive, more easy to onboard, and for them even to be able to remove applications that they don't want to use, for example. These applications go back to the catalog so they can be added at any given time. I can add applications or app variants to my screen, to my favorites. And then I have also the ability to add widgets. And we have 2 widgets. One is the favorites widget that I can just add directly to my screen, to every screen. I can then resize it to better fit the content if I want to. Very easy. Every single thing is able to be resizable. And I can also add a different widget, which is the last used widgets. That gives me the ability for me to add to see the last interactions. In this case, I was looking at work orders. I can see immediately the list of my work orders. And of course, I can compact it, I can expand it, and I can also put it at the very top of my screen, making it very, very, very easy for an experience that goes across devices. Because now that I've created this screen for myself, the next time I open this Launchpad or this super app on my mobile device, it will have the same sorting, the same hierarchy of applications with the exact same content, but with just the adjusted size to the applications that I want. Also, I can manage my screens so that I can, for example, let's say that I want my work orders to be the first screen that I see every single time. I can resize, I can reorder, resort the screen so that the next time I open my screen, it will immediately become the default one that I will see. This makes it extremely easy and practical to let the end user create their own experience and therefore making it easy for them to feel at home. And that's a wrap for today. Thank you for attending today's webinar. We'll leave the session open for a few minutes more so you can post your questions. We'll be answering the questions through the Neptune community. And feel free to ask us any questions and also attend the upcoming webinar in a few minutes, available for a technical perspective of what we have done here. Thank you for today.